Thank you very much, Assemblymember Warner. It is great to be a partner on this bill with you. It's something that is so profoundly needed, not just across the state, but especially in upstate New York. I'm Senator Michelle Hinchey. I represent the 46th District, which covers all of Greene and Montgomery counties and good portions of Ulster, Albany, and Schenectady counties. I want to take a minute right now for everyone to imagine what your life would be like without access to the internet. What would that look like? Would you and your family have been able to get through this pandemic without it? I have constituents that take every Zoom meeting from their car from a library over 20 minutes away. And I have families that have to choose between driving their child to the library parking lot to do their schoolwork or to go to work themselves. These are impossible choices that we have forced people to make. Without internet access, employees can't work from home, continuing to drive our economy. Students can't keep up with their studies. People can't access their bank accounts. Families can't keep in touch. And residents can't get the health care that they need through telehealth medicine, especially in communities like I represent, those like Greene County that don't even have a hospital. Access to telehealth is profoundly important. These aren't just scenarios. These are challenges our constituents face every day, and it's a reality for far too many rural families across New York State. What I hope we're making clear today is that internet is no longer a luxury, it is a lifeline. We need to ask ourselves what barriers exist and how can we come up with common sense solutions right now to fix this problem. This legislation that we are discussing today is one of those common sense solutions. What we're working to do is to deliver real, meaningful changes to help us close the digital divide in our communities that have been left behind for decades. One issue this bill seeks to address is a big issue in our district. In particular, is utility pole access. This has become a major cost and regulatory barrier that disincentivizes our rural broadband service providers from expanding coverage into our communities. Our local broadband service providers are some of the only companies actually trying to get service into these rural areas that need it the most. But they are being forced to either scale back their build out or move to easier to service communities because they're facing exorbitant costs at the hands of big utilities. Our bill states that we can no longer make our small broadband providers foot the bill for an entirely new pole when all they need is a small segment of that pole to attach their infrastructure so that families down the road can get online. Let's talk for a moment about a local provider in my district, Margaretville Telephone Company, or MTC. They're responsible for serving rural communities in the central Catskills region, including communities across Greene and Ulster counties. MTC has been working to bring high-speed internet to over 13,000 homes in the area, many of which had been entirely unserved. But their final project costs totaled 4 times the budgeted amount because they were forced to pay for the entirety of the utility pole replacements. This significantly delayed their build-out because of the unforeseen cost burden, leaving homes without reliable internet for much longer than necessary because the company had to manage its cost flow to be able to stay in operation. It's a lose-lose situation. These providers can't afford to run their business, and our Greene and Ulster communities continue to go without high-speed internet. We as a state have a responsibility to ensure that every household across New York is connected to the internet. And this bill is one step we can take right now to break down the unnecessary barriers and expand access in communities that need it the most. I am incredibly proud to carry this legislation with Assemblymember Warner. And as she said, we'll be doing everything we can to call on the legislature this year to pass it and to make sure the governor signs it, because every day these households go without reliable high-speed internet is a day that we are leaving them behind. Thank you very much.